We're back on Behind the Hammer for our final episode, and today I'm not with Joseph and Melissa Irons of Irons Brothers Construction. We're here with the Hendricksons to talk about their journey and their project. Please introduce yourself and tell us how you got started on this journey.
Hello, my name's Joe. This is my wife Marcy, here at a home in Richmond Beach outside of Seattle. I bought the home in 2001, and I knew at some point in time or another adding a third story would be what really made this home all of its potential. The pre-process started prior to us even meeting with Irons Brothers in terms of what did we want to have, what were our minimum requirements. I wanted covered outdoor space so we could enjoy the deck more than during the summertime. Obviously wanted to come up another story to take advantage of the view and redo the kitchens and the bath. So we had a general idea of what we wanted to do.
City of Shoreline had a homeowners remodeling show, and they had several different businesses there. I went, they were right there, and we discussed some ideas, just really basic things, but Joseph just came out and said that they were very relationship based. I said, I think these guys we want to go further with. We want to talk to them some more.
We had no idea what we were in for in terms of the planning process. In retrospect, that was incredibly valuable because it did make things a lot easier going through when, we had already decided that. From an architecture standpoint, Skip was amazing. Putting the elevator outside of the house made things so much easier, and right now couldn't even imagine doing it any other way. The deck was going to be on the other end of the house. He came up and convinced us that this side would work.
And I think that's a theme that's run through this whole project. The idea is it's not just about hammer and nails, it's about providing guidance, right? It's about looking at the situation, using your experience and leveraging that. Irons Brothers, truly the experts in this space, and folks that are going to provide that guiding hand, not just order taking, right, when it comes to a project of this magnitude.
The planning and architecture side was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
From the very beginning, Irons Brothers worked and introduced us to the architect and the designers, and they had the plumbers and the siders. They knew all these people, and they brought them to us and introduced them to us. I thought going into it I was going to have a really hard time with the trust. It just flowed very smoothly, and it was just okay. There are going to be strange people in my house, but I trust these guys. These guys know them. It's going to be okay.
The bulk of our project was during 2019, which was a little atypical for the Puget Sound area. We had a couple pretty big windstorms that came along with torrents of rain, and basically the whole month of February there was snow on the ground. All in all, our project manager did a great job working around those things, but it wasn't seamless 60 degrees all the way through the project.
And I understand you did something that I think is a little unique. You actually had an RV and a camper and were living at the job site while the home was being worked on. What drove that decision, and what were kind of the benefits of doing that?
During the project, we were living in the backyard in a small travel trailer. Irons Brothers made it possible that we could still use our shower and laundry room in the house while this was all going on, so we could stay in our little trailer in the backyard. It was a great experience to be right there as it was happening.
I was able to be on site literally every day. A couple times I saw some things that said, wait a second, that isn't quite what we thought. We'd go back and look. It may have been exactly the way it was drawn up on the plan, but that isn't what we wanted. And yeah, that may have been a change order, but we caught it when it meant moving a few studs versus tearing down a whole wall. And if you're not there for 2 weeks, the whole situation can change in such a way that trying to rework it would almost become impossible.
Wow, that's a perspective we hadn't heard. So being close to the site is still important, right? Having that connection. And it's great that Irons Brothers fostered that transparency throughout the project, so you had the ability to do that.
Once it started, things flowed pretty well, but there was some angst getting to that point, not really knowing what was going to transpire.
Now, had you gone through any sort of remodel like this before, or was this your first time?
I was totally a newbie to any kind of remodeling. I had friends that had gone through the process and they were like, oh gosh, it's going to be horrible. You're going to end up hating the people you're working with. And it actually surprised me because the process had a lot of fun to it.
95% of anything that a trade person had to understand or know was there. So that is what allowed it to keep rolling forward.
I totally get it, and I would tell anybody out there, they know how it works, go with it.
That's phenomenal to hear. Looking back on this project, were there some milestones or moments that happened the way you expected, maybe unexpected, times where you thought, oh, this is what I'm really looking forward to, but it ended up being something else?
So once the walls were in place and the drywall was sanded and taped, a lot of things that you don't think of have to happen. And I was starting to get itchy. When are we going to see the floors? When are we going to get some of the pretty stuff? And Cody was always really, really good about saying, oh no, this is really important. This is the fun stuff. This is what's going to really make your house work. Talking about, okay, now do you want this light switch to come on here? Do you want to turn it off here, from here? And I'm thinking, I don't want to do that. Now that we're living in it, was like, wow, that was a really good idea that we talked about, that this light switch turns on that and this, and how much we do appreciate all the work that is behind those walls, that this house is very solid, that it does work for us, and it's going to work for us as we get older.
But once the walls were up, obviously nothing was finished, and some rough openings, but you could feel the house, and that felt really good.
Having gone through this experience, what would you say to somebody that's about to embark in a major remodel like this with Irons Brothers?
To anybody out there that is going through the process and all of a sudden it feels like everything's slowed down and you want to see the pretty stuff happening, know that this is the stuff that is really making the house your home.
It's amazing to hear the relationship you built with your project manager. Remodeling like this is clearly a team sport, if there's anything we've learned through this process. And it's great to hear that the folks at Irons Brothers are focused not just on that end result, but the experience along the way.
He became the answer guy for so much stuff. And again, I trusted him.
Given the unique situation being on site, we became a team. We approached problems very similarly, I think. Something didn't look right. He had somebody out looking at it as quickly as possible, so we didn't get augured down into something we couldn't change.
Can you talk a little bit about the connection between the design and the build team? How did that relationship work, and how did they bring you into the fold?
I believe the design build concept is powerful because there's continuity of project from stem to stern. We ran into a couple issues that needed some rework from the architect to keep things going. And I can only imagine that if he was an independent contractor and we'd got drawings from him, getting access to have him come back to work those things probably would have been a little more difficult than him being part of the Irons Brothers team. It was very valuable.
I think the different teams work together really well. They really kind of gave me confidence that this was going to work. And I remember once it was all done and seeing the house completed, all those colors on it, and being so friggin' happy. I had no way that I could have seen that without the guidance and the expertise of the team that Irons Brothers put together.
Well, I know this was truly a collaboration and work in progress, and there were so many different milestones along the way. Let's jump in about one of them. Talk about that beam that was discovered and the approach that Irons Brothers took.
So that beam downstairs, that will always stand out in my mind.
While still living in the trailer, the day we could use the upstairs bathroom was a very great day. When we brought some chairs up here and were able to relax, although I mean it was just a flat floor, that really showed the potential of where we were going to go. And the day we deemed the front stairs good enough was a very, very good day.
Those are certainly some journey milestones that will be looked back on fondly. Those milestones just feel like a relief, right, when those things come to fruition. Look, this was a huge huge, massive project with a lot of moving parts. And I think it begs the question, was there any point where you felt unsure, unsafe along the way?
No, there were signs everywhere, hard hats when appropriate. That was always in the forefront, and I can't think of a time where I felt unsafe or saw somebody doing something unsafe.
Well, it goes without saying, this is a huge project, massive undertaking. Irons Brothers creates this great experience, right? Something they certainly want to show off. How did you feel about Irons Brothers, showcasing this project and sharing it with others?
Irons Brothers asked us if we would be part of a remodeling home show right as the house was finished. At first, all I wanted to do was just move in. But then I realized all these people that had become very meaningful in my life because they put so much work and so much of themselves into this house, and they allowed us, by listening to us, put ourselves into this house. That it would be a shame not to let them show other people what they had done.
The feedback from the neighbors was glowing. They might have had mixed feelings, but post-tour, only great words.
I've already had people ask me about Irons Brothers, and I've told them for us it was a remarkable experience.
I think a local firm was key to keeping on schedule. They didn't have to go wait for somebody to come from somewhere to look at something and then make a decision days after that. Being nearby and responsiveness were huge for getting us out of the trailer and into the home.
Well, I know that the folks at Irons Brothers are so grateful for both of you giving those testimonials and being willing to showcase this home. And I think it says a lot, not just about the connection you've built with Irons Brothers, but the fact that through that experience, you want to help other homeowners get over that hump, right? Those fears, the anxiety, and know that they're working with the right team.
I now live in a home that feels like it is both a part of Joe and myself. This is truly a work of love, and I would definitely tell other people that the Irons Brothers, great company to work with, and they exceeded my expectations.
Well, Joe and Marcy, thank you so much for taking even more time in this video to speak about your experience. And I think you couldn't ask for more in a testimonial and a story about a project that you were heard, that there was responsiveness, transparency, and ultimately a job well done. We hope you enjoyed this home for many, many years to come. And we hope you, viewers at home, enjoyed this entire series of Behind the Hammer as we follow Irons Brothers Construction and the amazing work they do every day.